Yeah. And questions and answers. There's no deliberation.
Yeah.
I said I want to get it in as soon as possible so I can do other work and forget about it.
Can you all hear me? Can you hear? So one of you guys, can you pull it up? Oh, you're not in your chat.
Yes, I'm the link.
Yeah, you're right.
You may pull it up.
Do I have it on Facebook?
We're talking like Facebook. That's 5 minutes.
Welcome on this one. You know if you can get it or not. I don't know why. Oh, maybe it's because it's a private thing.
Oh, but the
public.
private message is like just for you, I guess.
Okay. Okay, now try.
There we go.
Where am I? Okay. Wait, can you hear me? What do you see? What do you see on the screen?
There's a delay, like I'm still on the screen.
Oh, no delay, yes. Oh, you can see here, right, the delay. Now you're probably dancing.
Yeah.
You guys have already a list of questions you're going to make for them?
Yep.
Or
I have one question I'm gonna ask.
because I don't know how long are you expecting to be the question answered? It's like 3 or 4 of us asking, and probably you're going to be the selection. So it's probably you asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I only have that one thing I want to know, like, I want to ask about. Maybe they talk about it like before. I don't know how to ask, so I don't know. I just want to ask about member experience. Member.
So you are a member of the LLC right now, right?
Yeah. He's back.
It took a while.
Well, we have our LCs like these are so they're Isaackers, and then they're not, and they hang out with us, but they're not like in Isaac anymore. And then then they come back and they're like, I don't want to be in Isaac again. So it's like, yeah. So he just came back like 2 days ago, pretty much. Yeah.
That's why the hesitation. I was like, yes.
He's like, am I? I don't know.
Yeah.
So which area are you working, or is it
Right now, I'm gonna be in Allentown.
What's up, Paul?
Hi, Ben.
Okay.
Before I was in OGX for 2 years. OGCD. OGV?
Like OGV.
OGV.
Yeah. You gotta catch up on your
I'm
acronyms.
still at OGCDP.
Bro, that's
OG.
years ago.
Yeah. I was with the IJT
Okay.
2015 in Brazil, so I understand your feeling.
Yeah, so I was in OGCDP for 1 year and then OGIP for 1 year.
Mhm.
Yeah, then I quit and now I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah.
And back like for real,
Mm-hmm.
maybe thinking to apply for EB.
I'm not applying for the B. I'm graduating.
That's all state.
I don't know. That's scary.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Poor future LCP.
I know. They just need to work right now. Like the current VPs need to work on getting a successor.
Yeah.
But there are like new members entering the organization for the second semester, right?
Oh well, you guys already got newbies.
20.
20. Okay.
So
How many
did
members in total?
when Williams comes back, we'll start. But
Okay. How many members in total right now?
30 something.
Eric, is this just your interview round, or is this like your speeches, like your?
Speeches and then Q&A by the LC.
Okay. Is the whole LC there?
And then,
Let me see.
nah, most of them are streaming in.
Hello,
Wow, hello.
what's up? Ben, where are you?
I'm a-
You piece of shit.
I'm in some library right now. It's hella lit over here.
No, you're at the FAC. Next door. Come back.
Yeah, I called her, right?
What?
Ben, come back.
I need to get some shit done, and I can't be bugged by you guys. I need some personal time.
You need to get yourself done? Sorry.
I need to get myself done, and I need to get my shit done.
When is this happening? We're all here, you know, like,
What? Session? I have my sessions done. That shit's done.
Next haircut, Eric.
Oh, thank you, Lingo.
you look like a hairstylist.
Davi, I want a haircut like Eric. Can you cut my hair like that?
I'm taking a screenshot and taking it to my hairstylist. I'm like, can I look like him, please?
I can do that. I can hook you up. I can give you a haircut like that.
Ben, don't you need a haircut?
Ben, you
Yeah.
definitely need to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want a haircut like Eric.
Ben, let's go get a haircut.
No, I'm gonna cut it.
I need to do my sessions. Ew.
Who's there?
This hoe's here now.
Now that my VP's back and stuff, geez, so
Drop
I don't know
this
how to.
hoe. Drop this hoe.
I'm gonna mute everyone because we're gonna start.
How's your lunch?
Bye.
coming in?
Cool. No, they do. Hangouts, you can hear. YouTube is like 10 second delay.
Hey, I'm still here, okay? Don't stop mute me.
No, I know.
Voice.
I'm just.
I'm here.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, don't open the door.
Ben, you don't fucking mute me, Ben. Fuck you.
Why? For what? William.
What are you doing?
No.
I just wanted to say that I muted myself, okay? No one can mute Davi.
For what? No.
Why not?
No. Just sit down.
Just
Just sit down, William. You're like, don't be lost. You just sit down. That's all I wanted was. Okay. Cool.
No, it's mine.
Okay. So here's how it works. So how it works is that everyone will they'll come in and they'll do a 10-minute speech, up to 10-minute speech on whatever it is that they prepared, and then after that it'll be open Q&A to
Kind of. I took all my classes, so.
Madison. Bye, Madison. It'll be open Q&A to whoever full committee members, so you can ask anything based off of only a few things. One is their speech that they delivered, and the second is their platform, their video, whatever they already presented. So the speech, their application booklet, and their video is like how we're trying to like. Those are the things that you can ask questions based off of, nothing else really. That'll come up in the selection committee. That's where they'll ask anything else, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
Their Q&A
Yeah.
will be based off of their speeches, their application, their platform, and anything else that they have put forth already through this application process.
Okay.
They'll have equal allotments of time. And then that'll be it. Just like keep it fair and stuff.
What's the point of asking a question if they already talked about it?
You can ask a question based off of it. Like if they say something like, I need clarification on, how are you going to like move forward with like this membership thing? Or like what this is kind of fuzzy and I disagree with it, stuff of that nature. That it does qualify, you can ask it, I think.
Okay, if they
Yeah.
talk about it. Yeah.
I shouldn't make questions.
You can submit it to Nikos and he'll ask it.
Mean, that's all.
Yeah, go ahead, you do you.
Oh,
You
you're
do
gonna be
you.
mean, so I'm going to forward all my questions.
Yeah, cool, yo. So I'll bring them in and I'll ask, okay, you all can, everyone on the chat, you guys can like unmute yourself just for the sake of like cheering and stuff. So I'm gonna bring them in and then make a lot of noise, be like, woo, super excited, yeah. Then you do the whole LCP chant, then you're like, LCP. And then I'll go figure that out right now. That's about what they need to decide.
Oh, yeah.
It's not me. I don't decide. They decide. Yeah. So that's about it. Yeah. If you, yeah, no, that's about it.
Some questions.
Yeah, that's actually what you should do.
Yeah.
Fill out a thing. And I need the applications. There are your applications.
Hey, Eric, can we hear Michael talk now?
In a second, wait.
Talk to her.
No, I'm rooting because like
Oh, that's who you.
no, because it's like
Okay.
I feel shoot so.
Hey man, I'd rather not voice my opinion right now before I hear anything.
Yeah.
But I still have something in my mind.
Amy says she wants to go with Bill.
What?
Amy wants to go with Bill. Shit.
Oh, have you seen his application? Like a Bill's application?
No, he doesn't want.
Okay. Actually, he made like a joke application. Like last year, it was
Yeah.
pretty funny. That's why she said I voted. And there's actually like a post on the group that was like, everyone congratulated Bill for being the next LCP.
Is it still on here?
It's on the social somewhere like down. I don't know how long ago it was, like a year ago. Maybe you
try
can
to
find
find
it.
it.
You can search it. Search this group.
Huge one.
AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. This is a joke, right?
It's really real moment. Oh yeah, that one's real.
Yeah.
Where's his application?
I have it on my what's it called, my drive. I don't have my laptop with me.
I don't need to finish this.
Which LC
read the application manual, so I need to do that right now.
Yes.
Yo,
I read it.
yeah, but Michael, he like he put it in size 9 font, and I was like, I'm not. It's like so tiny. At least like give me more slides like, if you're gonna put that much slides. What did you do when you were in the civil function?
OGB for a year, WT for a year.
Which one do you like better? Which one did you like better?
Technical difficulties. They both have presentations that they want to project.
Okay.
So
You didn't anticipate that?
no,
Of course they have
me and
presentations.
Brittany didn't have presentations.
Well, they're not you and Brittany.
They didn't tell me that they had
Oh.
presentation ready. So I just need to pull this up
Okay,
and then I'll bring them in.
cool. Who's going first?
Can we turn down the lights and make it all like
No.
seductive in here?
I
You
don't know
can
if they
turn that
heard
one
me,
off.
but could you hold on?
Oh, it's Kingfield.
How is the financial situation over there? Is it okay? You have money? You don't?
Why are you looking at me? I don't know.
Oh no, I don't deal with that. How's the financial situation, Eric? Good, bad?
Could be better, but we're fine. If only because I'm an optimist and I think we'll collect on most, if not everything. So like,
we have
it's okay.
a lot of accounts receivable.
So can we say that we have some money to invest in these strategies or not?
That's not a me. If it's their strategy, it's up to them at the end of the day and how they spend their money.
But do they have money to think about it?
Yeah, we have $43,000 right now, was what you should do, 13 plus whatever net profit we make
Okay.
this semester.
But like something that goes to like the MC, right?
Yeah, we get royalties. How do you turn this on? The projector.
Projector, you think you gotta press the button.
Where?
Over there, in the projector. Yeah, that's fine. Let's turn it on. Are they gonna make like a stage entrance? Enter stage left. How do you get back there? How do you get back there?
I don't know. Maybe through the other room.
Yo, I watched it last night. They made me go watch it, and I'm seeing that stupid clown everywhere. Like, fuck. That shit was scary.
Was it?
It was scary.
I've seen like part of the old movie.
The old movie?
And it was pretty young.
Yeah.
I read the book. Chapter 1 is fucked up.
old movie with a clown.
I don't know that movie, but have you read the book?
No.
The book is like, it's 100 times scarier, but it's so confusing because he jumps around in time. So it's like the kids when they were young and the kids when they're old. And then the old kids come back, but he like puts all the stories of like when they're young and they're discovering how they killed the clown, and then they're doing it again when they're coming back. And it shows how fucked up their lives become because they're now adults and their lives are fucked up. But it's so confusing because it's like jumping around so much in time and I can't keep up. I stopped reading it though because it's like huge. Yeah, I was scared.
That's a lot of questions.
What's
You
that?
can ask some of them if you want. Or you can ask some of them. Yeah, number 2 is like what I was gonna ask kind of.
Yeah, I love this question. This one I really want to ask Michael.
I mean, that's what this world wants to ask. I wanted to ask about member development and member experience.
Yeah.
That's it, froze. Once it unfreezes, I have Michael's open and I can. I'm sorry.
Oh no, they can hear me.
Yeah, they can hear you because my mic is on.
Oopsie. Chelsea's wearing my earbuds. I didn't realize. Ooh, and I brought food.
What do you mean by 3? What do you mean by number 3? Baby numbers.
You don't provide their looking because they have some strategies and they may need some specific people to deliver what they're thinking. So let's say the file.
Let's hear what they have to say then. And then ask a question.
I like to make an introduction box. Any questions they don't answer. And here is also one who they just need to be upfront and answer something.
Yep.
I'm sure it's that. I don't know if I'm not from here, so you could try to create a question about the New York environment, the city, and the problem you're facing right now. The goal was something so.
They keep calling me noodle arms. I don't have noodle arms. Well, why do you call me noodle arms?
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Cool, yeah.
I have their stuff open. I'll go get them.
Wait. Is that only
This is-
slides or he's going to be?
He's
the
going to
one?
be clicking it.
Oh, yeah?
Because like I don't know what break.
And who is getting the time? Like he has 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Who's
I
responsible for
can do
this?
it on my.
Does he have a time, you know?
Yep, 10 minutes. I have a.
There's like signs of 5 minutes to go and 3 minutes to go.
How much time do they get?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Timer. 10 minutes. Cool. I'll get them. Remember, be excited. Also, anyone on the chat, they can unmute themselves if they want.
Can we do that? I don't think so.
I don't know, but they can hear me and
I
then
really
apparently
haven't-
the hard
I really
time.
haven't.
They were supposed to be watching the.
Yeah, why, can you filter?
And I think actually.
I don't think they can see a screen.
Well,
Like
put it there.
it's the light for the screen.
There, right? Because you're gonna have to change the slides.
Michael's gonna stand there.
Yeah.
Can I see? Oh, but it's backwards.
What?
But it's backwards.
No worries.
Why don't we share the screen on this though? Eric, they can't see the screen.
Don't worry.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Just
They can
let's
see.
start.
Let them see Michael.
What?
I swear to God.
That's just good.
Where's Michael gonna stand? There?
Yes.
So, can we go?
See, that's the screen. Click it here, then you'll click.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Oh, we're good.
Like, oh yeah, again.
Close it, right? What you need to modify. Oh, yeah. It's very funny.
LCP, 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 LCP.
All right, do I start? Okay. All right, do I have a timer that I can see?
Figures.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm running for LCP of Isaac Ford New York City for the term 2018-2019. A lot of you know me just simply as Michael, or your VPIGT, a Baruch student, maybe studying finance, but a lot of you don't know really who I am. I was actually born different than a lot of other people. I was born with a mild form of cerebral palsy. And it's affected me a lot because I always consider myself an outsider. I never saw myself as someone who can accomplish things because I always thought I'd be judged by others. I actually don't have a right tricep muscle, pectoral muscle, or calf. And it affects me daily because I have to wear a leg brace on my right side because of the deficiency in that muscle. And I've always thought of myself as something different. Now, this isn't some sob story. This is a story of me accepting who I am and becoming the person I am today. Like many middle schoolers, you go through phases, whether that's emo phase, whether it's getting bullied, etc. And for me, it was wrestling. My 7th grade and 6th grade social studies teacher, Mr. Strecco, basically forced us to listen to his pitches to join the wrestling team. It would be every single day, he'd be like, hey guys, real quick, wrestling. Hey guys, real quick, wrestling. And we'd always brush it off. And personally, I was like, how am I gonna wrestle? I wear this leg brace. I'm not gonna be able to compete. I won't be able to exercise the same way. I won't be able to be the person that this team needs me to be. But then one day he showed us a clip of a video of a movie called Vision Quest. Vision Quest is your cliche 80s movie in every way possible. But it has one key element that stuck with me. It follows the life of a senior in high school who drops 20 pounds to a different weight class to battle their school's biggest rival. He dropped from 190 pounds to 168 or 178 in order to show him and the rest of the team that he can do it. And it stuck with me. I was like, if this movie character has that much determination, why can't I? So I decided to actually join the wrestling team. And in 7th and 8th grade, I went 5-3 and 7-2 within those 2 years. I was able to finally say that I accomplished something and something that was recognized by others. And we were just a small public school. In all of our matches would be at big time prep schools in Manhattan. So for us, it was something that was bigger than what we'd ever seen before. However, I went to Edward R. Murrow High School, which, for those of you that don't know, is a school centered around the arts. There are no sports. Actually, there are sports now. But when I went to school there was no sports. And since they started the school, there was no sports. And for me, it was like a shock. I was going there for music because I auditioned to play for the trumpet. But wrestling was what I wanted to do at that time. And I needed to find something else. So like every other high school student, I was like, what's the best career path for me to get rich quick because money's a thing. I live in New York. I need to make the big bucks. But that was a problem because there was no drive for that. It was completely monetary and it was something that I really shouldn't have been doing. Which led to me talking to my dad about it. My dad told me a story about one time when he was held at gunpoint over money. And for me, it was really impactful not only knowing that someone in my life that I really care about was going through that experience, but what came out of it. He told me a quote that till this day is what I live by. Which simply put is money you can always make, but a life you only have one. To me, that doesn't mean don't chase money or don't chase careers. It's do something that matters, do it well, and money will come along the way. It means to me that chasing the dream and living that dream is more important than doing something simply because other people are telling you to do it or because there's money involved. And I tried throughout high school and the beginning of my college career to find this. And it wasn't until I got to Baruch that I found it. And I believe that's Isaac to me. When I started my VP term, I had a lot of issues. I wasn't booking the right meetings. I wasn't getting the right leads. A lot of deals passed out, but I learned. We went through an entire team of 6 people to 2. But I knew that I was in the right place. I knew I was the right person on the bus, and it was something I needed to push myself, which led me at the end of my first semester to apply for summer NST. I applied for summer NST for 2 reasons. One, I told myself after my first rocks, I would take every opportunity that I could possibly take in Isaac. Because it was something that seemed at minimum interesting to me. And second, I want to fix everything else that I didn't do right in my first half of the term. I figured working with a new team, especially a seater of another LC that I was good friends with, would help me along the way. Does that mean 4 left or 4 in?
4 minutes.
Okay. And a lot of you may know I'm taking the semester off. And it's because I didn't spend the summer working on my finances to pay for my college. It's because I spent the summer focused on Isaac. Because to me, it was more important for me to fix Isaac than fix whatever else is my personal life. I'd rather push another semester than not have it. Which leads to my vision of Isaac for New York City, which is minimum fear. It stems from a Will Smith video where he talks about the idea that there is no fear when there is no danger. Danger is something that's real, but fear is a choice. You live your entire lives doing something, but what it is not there. You see that there's always a step further. There's nothing to ever be scared of. So what does minimum fear look like? Minimum fear is, for me, as it relates to Isaac, is the idea that there's nothing stopping us from doing things the best we can be. For example, for key strategies that I think we should be implementing, half of these things we've tried already, or we've thought about doing, but something has held us back from doing them or doing them well and efficient. Like job and volunteer sites. This is something that's been done in 2016. And I've seen results, I've seen emails, but we've never actually capitalized on it. Career fairs. I found out recently that career fairs, according to RLC, meant doing Global Village without culture. That's not what career fairs are. We are untapping markets that are there for us to take and capitalize. Digital expansion. We obviously are in a huge market, but we work in other markets that we don't consider for OGX. For ICX, we work in New Jersey, we work in Philadelphia. Why can't we also work in those markets for OGX? What's stopping us outside of Facebook ads? What's stopping us outside of sharing a post? University impact. There are countless clubs on this campus that we can be partnering with. There's countless other universities that we could potentially be partnering with for IGE. National projects. IGE and IGV both have national projects that have standards and have backing from every LC that's a part of it. Why are we not using this to our advantage? All these things make it happen. That's why I want to focus on membership, because we have to focus RLC around what our members need. Productivity and being something that's worth it. The idea that Isaac is something worth it to them because we're giving them what they want. It should not be an excuse that we don't have the members to exchange. I recently saw a Facebook photo for an LC of 50 people who did 600 exchanges last year. There's no reason that 30 of us can't do 200. I want to break that fixed mindset. There's a lot of members that believe in Isaac, but they don't believe that they're the right people to get there. And I want to help be there to keep it there. But I don't want to force people. Because like Cinderella said, if the shoe doesn't fit, we have to find the right people for the bus and make sure that we're connecting their why to our why. Thank you. Can I sit for the Q&A?
But adjust the recording. All right. So I don't mean to catch you off guard. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about this on your
Right.
thing, but like, what I was gonna ask about is member experience.
Yeah.
So, like 2 semesters ago and a semester ago, many people like quit.
Right.
Because the member experience wasn't great. And I think, in my opinion, that's a problem. What are you gonna do to improve that, the member experience?
So I feel that a lot of the reason why members quit is because they weren't connected with the original reason why they joined. And I think that happens for 2 reasons. One, people come in generationally, meaning a group of people come together and they leave together and someone else comes in, but also we're forcing new members and new culture upon old people that don't want to adapt, because it's not why they joined. So honestly, there's no simple answer for that, but what we have to do is help support our older members with what they want to do and help guide our newer members with what they want to see. So newer members, they have to have the vision and carry the LC further. And then we have to downscale that to our older members and say, hey, you joined for something else. This is our vision. This is why we still think you are connected and why you're still valuable here.
So in your application, the question is, what are your core values and how do your behaviors demonstrate your core values? You did mention what those values were and what those mean to you.
Right.
However, there wasn't mention of like how you yourself have lived those values. So to remind you, they were resilience, courage, and excellence.
Right.
So could you just like how exactly do you live those values? Because like, just like
So for resilience, I live resilience based on the fact that honestly, I'm still here. Like Isaac-wise, I'm still here. I feel like a lot of people would probably give up after the first half of the experience that I had. But I'm still here because I still see something new. I still see the idea that we can fix everything that's there. Outside of Isaac, I'm resilient because of everything I just talked about. The idea that I'm not holding anything hold me back from where I started. For courage, it's the idea that you have to start somewhere. Resilience is all about after something happens, keep going. Courage is about taking that first step. I consider myself living it right now talking to you guys. I'm being courageous in the moment of talking to you about why I'm running. I feel that I'm courageous in the fact that I'm still taking every opportunity as it comes and not taking no for an answer. And for excellence, I live excellence every day because I think that I am doing whatever I can to achieve my ultimate goals. Whether that's career path, whether it's Isaac, whether it's personal, I feel that I'm always taking steps to get to where I want to be.
I have a question. So how will you engage new members and create a cohesive atmosphere for that we can all join and it's like a good atmosphere for Isaac in the future?
So the culture on Baruch's campus mainly is the idea that people join clubs because they want to meet new people and just have a good time during club hours. Have someone to go get bubble tea with, have someone to get Popeyes with. And you know that's right, looking at all four of you. But the idea is the reason why a lot of members are leaving is because that culture, that aspect of the culture is gone. We focus a lot on the work and we don't focus a lot on just people being people. So what I want to do for new members is show them how being together will lead to work, how it will lead to operations. If you believe in your fellow members, there's no reason stopping you from operational work because you're like, I feel connected with these people, I like to hang out with them, I'll also do Isaac work. So for new members, it's about shaping what they want out of Isaac. Meaning, what do they want out of just a club/organization on campus? And then how can we build that to meeting Isaac goals and their personal goals?
But how will you do that?
If you come to me and you say, I'm here to meet new people, we will make sure that the club room has an open environment. The idea that if we go in there, people will still talk to you and there's no issues. The idea of like when you go to conferences, be open, I'm gonna be open, I will do whatever I can to like make that the best experience for me. If someone says, no, I'm here for career, I just need a line on my resume, then great. That's a great reason. That's why I first joined Isaac. We'll put you in a path that you're gonna be able to get stuff done, that you're gonna say, oh, now I have stuff for my resume, I can move on with my career and go forth to whatever like industry it is.
So what I got from that is that you're going to focus on what people want. So if you're saying that there are two types of members, ones that are career oriented and ones that are people oriented, they want to meet new people. So just like help people, the people want to meet new people, help them do that. And people who are career oriented, let them do that. But how will you make a cohesive Isaac Baruch?
So those were just examples of how to do it. The thing is, you said new members, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know what new members want until you ask them. You have to ask them what they want out of it. But based on our market, people join clubs for those reasons. Like those are the two most popular reasons that someone will join a club on Bruce campus. So I'm saying you have to make the environment together because people who are only in it for career want to network. So this is a great opportunity for them to meet new people, specifically for career paths. For people that are just like, I need a place to unwind after Calc 2, this is a great place for that because they have the environment just to hang out with friends. Like in terms of like bringing those like members together, that's how we're going to do it. We have to ask them what they want out of Isaac and not shove whatever we're trying to do down their throat. We have to make it for them.
I still that's a little vague. What is your 5-point plan in doing that? Sort of like specifically, what are you going to target? How are you going to do that? You just said, I'm going to ask them what they want to do.
What did you join Isaac for?
I do Isaac to meet people.
Eric, what did you join Isaac for?
OGB.
Like specifically like SDG stuff?
I want
like
to
connected.
give people the experience
Right.
that I had when I went abroad.
Right. So both of you joined for similar reasons, yet different reasons. You both want to meet new people, right? So you're both going to be in the environment together to talk with each other, meet new friends. Eric has a vision specifically to help other people go abroad because he believes in OGB, right? Let's say you didn't feel like that when you went abroad, like when you first joined. Mm-hmm. So we will help Eric get there by giving him operational work that's specific to that role. Like he'll have the ability to do that outside of just meeting people. For you, it's the idea of let's just meet new people because I want to make friends as a freshman in college. You understand the difference? Like that's what I'm saying.
But I don't see how that creates atmosphere. Like, what is your plan? You just want to ask people what they want to do and then do that?
Okay, all the big clubs on campus here, they're like families. There's a reason why, like.
How will we create the family? Just that atmosphere. I don't see that one thing. We've been doing that. We've been trying that. How else are you going to?
We haven't been doing it effectively at all.
How are you going to do it effectively?
Okay, in our turn as Equinox and Meraki, we have never once asked members what they want out of Isaac, outside of their initial interviews. We're forcing old culture based on what happened in 2016 and what happened in 2015. That's why oldies every single day say, I don't like Isaac anymore because it's not the culture I joined for. Because we're still forcing that culture. That's why we don't have that atmosphere, because we're forcing old culture. We're not creating new culture. That's what I'm saying. We can't just go by what happened in the past. We have to ask them what they want now. New members don't understand old Isaac culture. They weren't here for that. You can only build on the new by seeing what they want. You can't say, here's my 5-point plan because of what happened in the past. Because what happened in the past is not what's happening today. All 4 of you can rejoin Isaac next semester and be the same people, but you probably would cohesively create a different culture than it was when you all joined. Because you're joining Isaac at a different time in your life, and you need different needs and you have different wants. So I can't say to you, I'll force culture or have a culture set in my head and force upon people, because that forces people away. It doesn't create an open atmosphere if you're saying, this is the culture I want to build, and I'm not going to give you a say.
That's not my question.
You just asked me that.
No. It's not my question. I didn't say you to force new culture down people's throats. I said, how are you going to create this new culture? Give me specific examples. Give me specific. You're not giving me anything specific.
So what his thing is, like you said, you want new culture over old culture, like because like it's a new environment, it's a new generation. Then going back to what you're saying, it's very generational, all that stuff, right? So then, given that your entire thing, barring the like finding out what people want, what are like tangible things that will happen in order to reach it, instead of just saying like we're going to ask them what they want. Well, we have this great idea. Now, what are like the deliverables? What are like the things that you will do to actually achieve it? It's like that question, and that's like going to be the end of the question, so we can move on to other ones. Okay.
So first, we'll talk about our current, like what we do as an LC, LCMs. LCMs have to have certain places in set to say, this like, we'll have like 10 minutes of updates, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, it's about just doing something as a group. We'll go do something, let's say an LC day, we're volunteering together, we're going to the park, we're doing something as a group that creates that culture, that creates that openness. For FTMs, you should be going out with your teams like at least bi-weekly. going out, for example, Will here, EP, having EPs be around the LC, around the team, having them be available, that's how you create that culture. Also, conferences, as a group, going to conferences is a great way to create culture because you're going to spend at minimum 3 days with these people, plus let's say 2 hours traveling each way. The idea of like, how am I going to spend these time with these people? That's how you create that culture. LCMs, FTMs, team days, and LC days and conferences are the big things that need to happen in terms of using those spaces to create that culture. Exactly what sessions we might run, obviously I don't know that. But the idea of like, those are the key points during the week that need to happen in order to create new culture.
Cool. So we have a few questions from the LC.
Okay.
From Chanel, what expectations would you want from his members and what can they expect from the LCP? Like what can we expect out of you in terms of like being LCP for a year?
So first out of me, members should expect that I am first, always there when someone needs me to be. In terms of like, if you need help, I should be there. You should always expect me to be putting the LC's best foot forward, having the correct vision in terms of having that this idea that we're going with is the best experience that we're trying to achieve. Also, besides being there for help, being there just as a human being, being there that's someone you could talk to outside of Isaac. Because I feel like currently we don't have that atmosphere. Every time we have one-on-ones with members, it's very much like, why don't you do this in Isaac? Why don't you do that in Isaac? Instead of like, hey, as a human being, how are classes? How are you doing? Like, what can we do to just like make you sleep better? What can we do to just make you just have a good week outside of just forcing Isaac? And out of members, I expect putting the effort that you said you're going to put. So if you're saying I can devote 5-10 hours a week, 10-15, great. Make the most out of it. Not just being here for those hours, but saying I'll put the best effort for Isaac during that time. And I feel that as long as members are at least doing that, everything else will fall into place. Because if people are putting the effort in, they're putting their time in, there's no reason why we can't do anything else we want.
So then the next one would be from Chanel, how Michael, how would you improve communication between, because we do have a very top-down culture, like I said, and sometimes we do integrate members' ideas in, but it's not a very two-way kind of system. So how would you improve on there? What is your ideal way that the LC would work? More top-down, bottom-up, open communication? What kind of communication systems would you have?
I don't want top-down or bottom-up because I feel like it creates too much structure, if that makes sense. I feel like it just creates the idea of like, I know where I am. I want open communication. So for the 2 ways I see this implementing is first during FTMs, members could talk to their VPs and say, hey, I came up with this new strategy for us to do this or do that. Great. Or tell your TL, tell your VP, and try to make it work. Last semester, when I did FTMs, me and Rashul did them together because we were like, if we work together as a team, we'll get the most out of the 5 other people here. And also, if they have ideas, we want them to feel comfortable sharing. And I want time and place every LCM for just members to talk, whether it's an open discussion like popcorn, or it's here, I have something that I want to present to everyone because I feel like this is a good idea for us. I want the idea that it's encouraged for them to have that voice. Because I feel like right now we're not encouraging members to really put themselves out there unless it's applying for a leadership position. I want members to say, hey, you know what? I have an idea. I'm just a general member here for like a month, but I have this cool idea. I want someone to listen to me. I want LCMs and FTMs to be that space that they could just have their time.
Also, just a clarification. You mentioned several times in your application that we have a small LC, and that's like a weakness and all that stuff. So then, a few things is one, how large of an LC do you want? That's the first one.
Okay. You want me to answer that one first, or?
Yeah, just like how large of an LC do you want?
I personally, so first to clarify on what I mean by small LC.
Mhm.
In terms of like why I consider that a weakness is not because of the numbers. I think it's a weakness because the other members see declining. And they go, if everyone's declining, I don't need to be here anymore. It's like encouraging them to basically leave. And that's what I don't want. But I think honestly, 30, 40 people can get the work done.
How much?
Like 30 to 40 is a good amount. You don't need 80 people. And I'm sure we can get a lot done with 15 to 20, but having that cushion of having extra members is always great. So you don't need like a 80 person LC. 30 to 40 is a good slate.
So then the next question would be you wanted 200 exchanges.
Yeah.
You also wanted 3-to-1 productivity and 30 to 40 members. So do you want either a larger local committee or more productivity or lower your goal? Because the math doesn't work properly.
So first, let me explain what I made the 3-to-1 productivity. Okay. I was thinking more toward our MLS, like in terms of like, if we have like 40 members, we can get 120 completed during the year. Now, obviously, I think if we got 120 out of 200, that would be bad. It's 80 people that we didn't fulfill their experience correctly. But here's the thing. I think if we had 30 to 40, we can get the work done. Like I mentioned in my speech, I saw an LC picture with 50 people in it. They did 600 exchanges. If 50 people could do 600, there is no reason that 30 to 40 could do 200. Now I understand that means productivity has to increase in time. I understand that. But the idea is those people felt connected to it and it became secondary. And I think if we create the culture that it's secondary, it'll get done.
I have a question. What can you tell me are the main problems in every function? Sort of like OGB, OGT, IGT.
Okay, so first for IGT, our biggest problem is production. Just like each person can only do so much, and we just need more people to get there. For both OGX functions, I think it's also the same. We both have low member rates, but I also think it's the idea of just matching. Our conversion rates are very low in OGX, and I think that needs to improve. So I'd say that's the biggest issue there. And then for IGV, I would say the biggest issue is housing, because obviously that is the key component to signing any contract. Finance, I don't think there's any issues with finance because it's literally based on everyone else's production, and we have enough scientists to at least cover us for a few months. Yeah.
And marketing?
Marketing, right now marketing has a good amount of people, but I think a lot of marketing just needs to happen. Like for example, we talk about MailChimp, when we talk about Facebook ads, when we talk about strategies that we're trying to implement, it's already almost October and we haven't even started those things. So the biggest weakness in marketing is just starting things that we said we were going to do. But I think once they are implemented, we'll be back on track.
Speaking of marketing, Anne Marie has a question. How would you make ISIC, because branding and presence is a very relevant thing to Baruch clubs, and as you guys are an organization, locally we still have to combine to that. How would you have a stronger presence in Baruch? Like, how do you build that up?
So first, we have to be tabling and having events that reach bigger audiences. What I mean by that is when we have our GIMs, we're only reaching, let's say, 20, 30 people. That's because our Facebook marketing for them isn't that great. It's because when we do tabling, we're not doing enough to interact with people coming up and down the escalators. We're not doing enough to interact with people coming down the elevators. Also, there's, like if you, in my app, I talked about a few different clubs and departments I think we should partner with. Those are clubs that consistently do well and are also on the up and up. If we are co-sponsoring with those organizations, not for money for food, but specifically to help us get people to our events, it will happen because those people bring in 70 plus people at every event. That will get us the attention we need. Also, TSO has a transfer, like a transfer student, like me club event, let's say January and like August, like right before each semester starts. Over 150 people go to those. I know that because I went to both of them. And it's a great time for us to really get our product out there. Besides recruitment and like EPs, that's our space to do roll calls. It's our space to do things that get other people engaged and get us known. Because they'll say, oh, I remember those like 10 students dancing at that event. And I recognize their logo, I'll go to their event. That's how marketing at Brooke happens. You remember the small things and you're like, oh, cool, they have an event, let me go to it.
What makes you a better candidate? Your passion, initiatives, or experience? Which one?
I think it's passion initiatives.
Passion one.
Passion, you said passion initiatives, like together. right?
Passion or initiatives
Oh.
or experience?
Can I choose two? So I'll say passion.
I agree.
That's so funny.
What are the, let's say, three things, let's give it flexibility, what are the three things that need to happen that, just over here, you have, on your plan,
Yeah.
you have many different strategies.
Yeah.
That like, some of which we've spoken with,
Right.
About as an EB already, but like,
Which ones are
What?
like most important?
yeah, which ones, if, are like your focus that like, this is the one, these ones that we need to focus on, because this is a lot, it's
Yeah.
a lot of different.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on right there.
So I would say for OGX, job sites / volunteer sites, camp, club / department interaction, and digital marketing. Those are the three that need to happen on OGX. And then for ICX, I would say lead generation. So expanding it to other markets that we haven't been yet. So like it's like the Bronx, Queens, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, etc. And focusing on our national projects, because we have projects for IG and IGB, and we should focus on them and make the best out of them because we have national backing.
Who did you talk to when you were running?
Jason Wu, like WU,
Mhm.
Matt, you, John, Harmony, Dylan, Chelsea, Tarek, Tim, Ben, Maytal, and Sean.
Okay. Speaking of openness, how will you be more open to your EB?
I feel a lot through both Equinox and Meraki. When we have just general meetings with EBMs, whatever,
Mhm.
we feel very forced, right? We feel like together we're just like, why are we here? We could just be doing something else. It's not Isaac related. For openness, I want everyone to sit down after election and just say, let's talk. Let's just hear everyone out. So not necessarily to like attack each other, but just like listen to what everyone wants and let's see what we can create to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, the LC looks up to us to do their work, to create that culture. We have to be able to say as a group, this is what we want, let's do it. So I want to do that. Like for example, Will here has development spaces every 3 to 4 months with PwC. I want us to do that same thing. I want us to have that openness talk every so often to make sure we're still doing what we want to do. Not necessarily to like bash anyone for not doing anything, but just to make sure that we're doing things daily to get where we need to be. I feel like we're not being open with each other. We're not giving each other chances to speak. And I'm definitely someone who is at fault there. I'll take that responsibility, but it's as a group, we also just need to have that space and spend whatever time we need just to say, let's talk it out. Let's figure out what's wrong. Let's figure out what we're doing right and move on.
And as a follow-up question, how will you ensure that you know every member on the LC, even newbies, oldies, every member on the LC?
Like personal.
Personally, get to know them because you're the face of
Right.
our LC, and you have to get to know every single member. How do you ensure that you know every single member?
So as you guys like to know, I like to meet every single person at conferences, and I try to do the same thing here. Like I try to meet new members even if not on my function, and I enjoy that. I really enjoy putting myself out there and just talking to someone. So I want to ensure that I do it just because I want to do it. I want to meet people. I want to talk to people. I want to know people outside of Isaac. I feel like that's the biggest thing right now. I feel like I know more people in Isaac, specifically about Isaac stuff, than I do anything else about their personal lives. And I think that's one of our issues with the LC, but I want to be there to help change it. So I not only want to talk to these people, get to know them, like know what they're majoring, how they're doing, but hey, outside Isaac, what's going on? What's life like? And I feel like if we reach that stage, we'll get to where we need to be. And I want to be able to put myself out there and talk to people outside of Isaac.
Okay. How would you approach a member who's underperforming?
So first, I would talk to their VP and see what they think of it. Because obviously, firsthand, I might not know the issue. I might not know if they're just, for example, if they're on my function, I don't know if they're just not maybe contacting other companies. I don't know if they're just struggling through meetings. So I don't know specifically what help they need. For example, if it's IGT and they're just doing bad at meetings, then the VP and myself would help sit them down and talk about what they can do to be better. Whether it's going on meetings with other people, whether it's going on meetings with their VP, whatever it is. If it's like OGX, let's say it's OGB, right? And let's say they're just having issues finding projects for people because they just can't, maybe they're just too nervous to talk to me, they're too shy. They just can't connect with the EPs that they have. Well, you know what? Let's table more. Let's figure out ways to improve your issue. Instead of just knocking them down with strikes, let's make it positive. Let's say, hey, I know the last 3 EPs you got, they all dropped, but it'll happen. Let's move forward. Here's a way you can improve on speaking with everyone. Do tabling this week. See how it goes. Then we'll give you EPs again, and we'll see how you develop. Give them opportunities to grow instead of shutting them down and say, here's a strike, here's a strike.
Did you read Fidon's application?
No.
Why?
I skimmed it.
Why?
Because personally, I feel like I didn't want to think over, if that makes sense. I don't know how to phrase that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I liked how it was formatted though.
Okay, so here's a question from Nikos. So according to the current OC,
He's right there.
according to the current OC financial status, how will you invest the money that we have currently to engage members, increase the number of exchanges that we have?
So first, I like the idea of what we're doing in terms of finding people for conferences. I think both personally and then operationally, it's a good thing. First, people meet new people. They have experiences that they never would have had with other clubs on campus. And it encourages them to do better because hey, I saw how LCs are doing it. I'm motivated now, and I'll do my work. So I want to keep that conference structure. Outside of that, I want to put more money toward digital. So Facebook ads, whether it might be even external, just going to when we do co-sponsoring with clubs, putting money toward that. I know it's not a lot of money total, but we're just currently not spending that. So I want us to do that. Now, we aren't in the biggest financial state in terms of reserves once our affiliation hits in the fall. But the idea of you need to spend money to make money, I think that falls with us in terms of we need to spend money to make exchange. So I don't want us to fear spending money because if we're spending money and it has results, we'll make that money back. So there's no reason for us to fear a few $100s here or even $1,000 here because if we're spending it and it's going to a good place, we'll see the return that we need it to see.
So this putting stuff together, you mentioned in your strategies, club and department sponsorships, more interactive tabling, social media, online marketing, job volunteer sites, university relations, career fairs, high schools, all of that is to get opens, and albeit they could be very warm leads at the end of the day. However, you also mentioned this the biggest issue with OGX is our conversion rates, which for OGB has been, if I'm correct, applicants to approve, except to no, your biggest issue is except to approve. If I'm right, so that's OGB. OGET is applicants to accepted. As far as the biggest thing, as far as last semester was concerned. So given that most of the strategies is to get more opens,
Right.
the biggest issue is conversion rates.
Yeah.
And each function has a different issue
Right.
where the conversion rate is for right now. How do you tackle it and what exactly will you do to like increase
Okay.
that? Because you have a bunch of these will get you opens.
Right.
How will you tackle the conversion rates? for
So-
each of-
First, and I'll start with OGT.
Mhm.
Their issue is accepted to approve, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
So that means people are getting some projects, but they
No,
not,
that's OGB, actually.
you just accept to approve.
Approval, come to approval is OGB. They're not getting accepted for OG.
Okay, so that'll start with OG. So for accepted to approve, I think it's mostly because they found a different opportunity, or they just don't see the value of like going abroad again. And that's why I said in my application, like interactive tabling, having different events with with co-sponsors. It's not just to get opens; it's get the idea of going abroad is worth it than my like internship over the summer or my like internship this winter. It's more worth it because of what we're providing them. It's a unique experience. So I think if we're pushing that and creating that urgency of this is the only place at Baruch where you'll get this like experience through any club, we can close that gap. I think we're just not making it clear enough for these EPs that, hey, this opportunity with Isaac is worth it more than something else. And in terms of open to accepted, correct? Upgrade to accepted. I think it's mostly because we're not finding the right projects for people. People at Baruch have very specific wants and needs. They're looking for big time companies, or they're looking for very specific projects. They're looking for marketing, they're looking for finance, looking for accounting. We're not providing that same thing. Now I understand we focus a lot on like teaching, like in the past we've done Teach China, that's been a huge hit for us. The idea is we have to make that appeal the same way KPMG for an accounting internship like appeals to them. If we can bridge the gap of why these two internships are the same in terms of where you'll be after, but one gets you there faster. Like ours is you going to a country for the first time, you're gonna meet someone new, you're gonna live and work in an environment that is unknown to you. Companies look for that more than a local internship. We're not bridging that gap of which one's more important. And I think that's why people aren't applying to projects, and that's why they're ultimately not getting accepted and approved.
You mentioned spend money to make exchange. Where do you spend money? What would be like investments? Do you understand like our finances and everything right now?
I do.
Okay, so like where do you spend it?
Facebook ads is the first thing. Any co-sponsorship we could possibly do. And
Co-sponsorships is for Baruch. I
Yes.
mean, the MC budget, where would you spend money? Not
Oh,
Baruch.
okay.
That's refund. That's
Right.
renewable.
So I would say Facebook ads, possible external marketing if we need it. Not necessarily, external marketing I can see as job sites if we need to pay for that, and or there's a really packed coffee shop every single day. Let's ask them if we can give them some money to put up flyers. I would say those are the things that I'd spend money the most to, because I don't want us to try to do too much and then it falls through. Because I feel like that's also a problem. If we try to do 10 new things and we can really only focus on, let's say, 2 or 3. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to make us exchange, it's going to make us lose money. So I would say Facebook ads and possible external marketing would be the only two that I would put money today.
And then IGV, you created the application before the switch.
Yeah.
The switch now is not
Bridge.
going to be, not so much bridge. It's some of the things SDG number 4, how we're structuring it could be bridge, could be not. But like, the question would be like, how are you, IGV, since it is the 4th highest, it's the lowest priority in terms of exchanges, how will you support it, and like what are like looking, like how will you grow it, given that like you have 3 other programs to like focus on before that?
So this year, IGV's been the biggest growth out of all 4 exchange functions. OGV, OGT, and IGET have all had drops, whereas IGV has increased. So I don't want us to forget about that. I want us to keep going. Like IGV is clearly going to keep growing and growing. Considering that we'll have a national project, whatever it's called at the time, considering that's going to be a thing, I feel like as long as we're focusing on that when we talk to summer camps or high school, whatever the project's for, we will be able to grow it because that has national backing both from the MC and from other LCs. When IGE, when we talk about Launchpad, which is our startup focused program, it's like, hey, this is happening in Madison. It's also happening in San Francisco. They're like, oh, that's really interesting. I'd love to learn more. And I think if we're doing that for IGV as well, it'll grow. And also not neglecting the member base in IGV. Because as it is fourth in the exchange tiers, I don't want us during new member allocation to say, oh, whatever, it's IGV. I want us to still have a member base there that will allow it to grow.
We have time for one or two questions. All right. As long as it's within the confines of this.
Why did you contact me to ask me what the problem were for OGB before you did this? Like the like communication between IGET and OGB hasn't been that strong the last semester. How will you work to improve that as LCP? How will you work to even talk to people that you don't get along with, even talk to people that you might not, share ideas with? How will you make sure that you will put your ego aside and work to make our LC whole?
So do you want me to answer why I didn't talk to you or that one?
No, answer that. How will you put your ego aside?
I would. It's not a question for this committee. Try again tomorrow if you are. Ignore that question. Ask a different question if you have one. It's not a question for this.
What are the strengths of OGB?
It's okay. So strengths of OGB. It's really easy to connect OGB because a lot of people, even though we're at a business school where people are very professional focused and they're very like, oh, I only want to do business. Everyone at the end of the day wants to do something that's greater than that. Whether it's even if you're just like, I want to be a financial analyst, you're like, I want to do that because people everywhere else will be able to be impacted positively through what I do. And I think OGB connects that way. Because you're connected to SDGs, because you're connected to the UN, you have that strength of, hey, as a product, we're here. Also, there's a lot of freshmen and sophomores that are interested in going abroad that aren't yet, let's say, qualified enough to do OGE or OGT. And OGV is a clear need for them, as it's a way for them to get the same experience they want. And also, our members currently are very operationally savvy in OGV. At least it seems from my perspective that they all know what they're doing. So I feel like that's a great strength to have.
What part of your platform would you get rid of? If you could only achieve everything, but what part?
I would say whatever my productivity ratio is, I'll explain. Because to me, when it comes to members and productivity, I feel like they go hand in hand. So I feel like if we achieve membership and make that great, productivity will get there. So I don't want to focus all the time on productivity and force operations down people's throat. I'd rather spend the time and create a great culture for people and have them do what they can.
I apologize for my question before, but how will you work with people you don't like?
So can I actually answer this personally?
No. Just like say you have, just like how will you make sure that as LCP you will just help everyone? Just like say you don't like someone, that's not me. Say you don't like someone, how will you make sure that you work with them?
So as LCP,
yeah,
it's my job to put my differences aside and make sure I'm putting the best foot forward for everybody. So in that sense, it doesn't matter who I get along with or don't get along with. I have to work with those people every day. So I want to be able to not necessarily force talk to them, but say, hey, I need to talk to you for this. I know we're having issues right now. But it's more important for us to get over that and talk. It's more important for us to say, let's put this aside for even a day and get whatever we need to get done, get done. And I want to be able to do that. And I want the other people that I might be having issues with to feel that same way. Because it's a two-way stream at that stage, it's a two-way stream. Because I don't want to just be forcing someone to talk to me. I want them to also say, hey, you know what? Let's move forward on this and let's keep going.
I also want to get over our differences. That's why I'm talking here now. So we can get over this because I don't like how we were in the past. And moving forward, I want us to be more cohesive as EB. So I just want you to understand that I don't like how we were before. I want us to be different. I want us to be better. We need to stick together as EB, and we have to act like that. And I think moving forward, that's the way we're going to improve.
Two more questions, and then that'll be it. The first is, what do you need from me in the next, until January 31st? What would you need from me in order to have Toast show for the most successful term that you can?
So I would say anything. So I feel like when we start terms, whether it's VP or LCP, there's a lot of things that we wish we knew when we started. That might be functionally, that might be a way of thinking, but I want you to share those ideas. I want you to just say, hey, this is how I felt in February. Here's how I feel in October. I want you to just be open to what happened, how you felt going from a team and then changing that team 3 times. Because I feel like operationally, that's as an EB, talking with each other, figuring out strategies. But like as like someone who was LCP previously, or like at that time, I want to know what it was like in that stage. What did you go through daily? And ultimately, how did you deal with all the struggles by yourself?
The last one will be, how many times balls do you in this room?
Can I get a piece of paper?
No.
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 Well, how about, okay. I just want you to know when I ask that question, that's what I want the answer to be. I want someone to take out a piece of paper and then okay. But, let's see. I'm gonna go with 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
More.
Since I didn't have any paper to do math, I'm just taking a good guess.
Okay. Cool.
You could go on exchange anywhere in the world. Like you could
No.
go anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Where would you go?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. I would go to Argentina. I would go to Mar del Plata because that's where my mom's from, and I would be like family.
So thank you. That's the last question we have for you. LCP, Yeah. Yeah. 2 minutes. Let me set up your presentation. You set up your presentation. What?
But I think we need to get over
Yeah, like, can I ask a personal question? I'm like, make sure it's relevant to this.
this. No.
And straight like, yo, you don't talk to me. We don't talk anymore. Duh, duh. I'm just like, bro, you gotta, not today. Try again tomorrow with that question. Because that's a selection committee kind of thing. That's not a, not it. That's not a. No, tomorrow's closed session.
Tomorrow's closed.
Closed session.
That's it.
Yeah. That's why it's like you can ask whatever you want. Kind of thing. Also, why is this not on?
Oh, we just posted.
Michael, we love you finishing strong in that. So.
Yeah.
Well, is it?
Yeah. No.
So,
What?
It's like all these.
I'm dancing, guys.
Questions there. But I don't know, like, we should go for the same level of questions as for him to be like there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was about the question too.
Yeah, how long time?
30,
45.
45. I was
Yeah,
on
it's
30.
a long time.
It's
Is there a limit or something?
yeah, it's supposed to be hour and a half total for everyone. And then you just like divide it all evenly. So I was doing 45 per person because that's an hour and a half. So like just went a little bit over 45, I think. Just make sure. Yeah, he started. No. We went on for about like 10 minutes. He got almost an hour. It's like 7 feet on, we'll get the same. Because
That's my question though. She wasn't in the LC. She doesn't know. What?
you can ask and gauge like what her knowledge level is on like LC. Because she has been, and it's only been since June, but I know she did talk to people, so if nothing else, she understands like where they're coming from. You all ready?
Huh? She talked to me, she asked me like what helps me. It was like, hey, I want to know more about OGB in New York City. That's every single person.
Y'all ready?
Don't worry.
Y'all ready for this? Cool. Get on. Get on.
I don't think that is something. He's getting her.
Okay, so I should
You're
have
on camera
okay.
as well.
How can I change the slides?
Yeah,
Okay,
the arrows.
so let's start here.
No, the computer, the live screen, so like make sure that you see us all.
Okay, so hello everyone. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Fidan Maramova, and today I'm running for LCP position of the term 1819, ISEC for New York City. So as I'm kind of new in this entity, I want to give you some information about myself. And so who is Fidan? So who is me? It's me. And I want to show you some pictures, mostly from my previous term, from my previous year, where you can see like my team leaders, my EB team, our LC, yeah. And here's some information about myself. I'm 23 years old. I made my bachelor in Russia, Moscow. My major was management. Besides of ISEC, I have a professional experience in one of the biggest companies back in my country. I was working for 1.5 years in customer experience and 2.5 years in marketing department. What I was doing, like I joined ISEC back in 2014, November 2014. And this is all about my ISEC experience. When I joined ISEC, first of all, I was OCVP of the spring recruitment. After that, I joined, like from my very first day, I was a member of OGX department. Back then it was OGX. And I was the team leader of OGCDP department. After that, during summertime, as there was lack of help in IGCD department, so I joined there as EP manager and I support them during summertime. After my term as team leader in OGCP ended, I applied for team leader of TM department, manager of TM department, and I was working there for a half year more. So after that, it came elections time and I applied for LCVP OGB. Back then it was OGCDP and then it changed to OGB. So many changes happened during my term in OGX. I became LCVP OGV. I was working as a part of EB for the last year, and it was the most challenging part of my life. But this was I guess it was really life-changing experience for me, because this year and my team, my OGCDP team, and my EB team, they really shaped me and changed me and made me the person who am I right now. After that, I joined NST team for marketing, and I was OCP of the spring conference back in my country. Currently, I'm part of ECP team in ISEC Peru and marketing member in ISEC New York City. So I want to tell you more information about myself. I'm personally, I am like very people-oriented person, and even the motto of my life, like people really matter. And it was even before that I joined ISEC. This is just my personal value, and this is the goal that I try to achieve during all my life. So what ISEC gave me during all this time, I became really very self-aware person, and I was, from my very childhood, I was like, okay, I want to make something good for people. I want to make something good for this world, but I didn't know how can I do this. And ISEC is the right tool for me to continue my way and to do exactly what I want to do for this world and for the people all over the world. So why I do what I do, why I'm still in ISEC, why I want to continue my way, and yeah, why I'm running for LCP position. I want to show you one video. Eric, battery is low.
We commit ourselves to the construction of a complete, just, and lasting peace.
Yeah. With this video, what I want to say, from the very beginning, we saw that what happens all over the world. What happens, like people, this all happens because of the people. People destroy our world. People make people hate each other. People destroy each other instead of inspire and love each other. And this is not the way to gain the peace in the world. Like war will never give the peace. Like it's stupid to make a wars for the peace. It's not the way for that. And from my opinion, this all happens because of the wrong leadership. And I wrote one story which inspired me a lot and made my connection to ISEC even stronger. It was the story of one German ISECer who went to his internship, GV internship in Africa, and he was telling the story of one girl. He was teaching the guys, like the kids in the kindergarten for English and etc. And he had a very smart and intelligent girl in his team. But one day she just stopped coming. 1, 2 days, weeks passed. And then he saw the girl on his way home. He saw the girl and she was just working. And he understood that whenever, instead of coming to school and to get some knowledge, this kid is working to help her family to survive. And this was, and this kid, this is not something that I want to see in this life. And I truly believe that one person can change the world. But the change starts not only with one world. One person can inspire other people to do something better. But just imagine what we as LC can do if we will be committed to this entity, feel the ownership toward the work that we do, feel the ownership toward our entity, and to try to achieve our goals. So, but for achieving the goals, for sure, I have some strategies for the next term, what I want to do to achieve that goal. So my strategies first is membership. The biggest problem of the LC, which I can see right now, I'm here just for a few months, but I really saw this This is the commitment of members. Members and in general, like people in ISEC, they don't really feel committed, and they don't feel this ownership toward their organization. They don't really feel that they're part of this team. They don't really feel that we have one common goal and we all strive to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind potential. And wherever we do, at the end of the day, we're going just for to achieve that goal. So my goal, my first goal and my biggest goal is membership. So we should implement team standards for sure. We should have bottom-up culture in LC, and we should really create this ownership in the hearts of our members and in the hearts of whole LC. The second is marketing. What should we do? Yeah, there are a lot of points that we can do as on our local level. For example, we can't like create automatically email replies, or we can't promote it as the LC. But there are a lot of ways how we can promote our programs. But for that, first of all, we should start with market research. After doing market research, for sure, we will have the data, and we should have like strong analysis of this data. Where from we have our customers, what they're interested in, how we can attract them, and what can we offer them. And the last one is we should know our customers, we should know their values, and we should know how we can sell our products to our customer, but not just sell, but to provide the leadership experience. Because if we as ISEC are not providing the leadership experience, we are not providing ISEC experience. And the last thing, is OGX programs level up. What I want to say was that it doesn't mean that we should stop doing ICX. Like, we're really doing great in ICX programs. And what I think we should continue this way, we should continue doing to grow in ICX and IGV programs. But we shouldn't forget about OGX programs, because during last year we had like small drop in that. So we as entity, we as ISEC New York City, we can prove to ISEC in US and ISEC Americas, ISEC in the world, that we can do really good OGX programs as well. So what should we do for that? We should have really strong collaboration between marketing and OGX departments, because if we will have like data of this all, we will know how to work with this. Then we can have trainings from external specialists, because sometimes our members don't really know the approach for the customers and how can we sell them. For that, we can invite some specialists who will help us to just to show the way how can we sell it to the best way, or to use good case practices of VPs, EBs, or just members who were previously in ISEC and they did like a great growth. And knowledge of the product, we really lack in the knowledge of the product, and we should work on it really hard. And thank you. Should I sit?
No, you can go.
Okay.
Really quick, can you just explain what you mean by bottom-up culture?
Bottom-up culture is something like, right now it's going like this in the entity. It's going like EB, LCP, like EB team, they have an ideas and they're implemented in the local level, and members just doing this. And this happens because from my point of view, they don't really feel enough, like not only members, but whole LC, they don't feel enough ownership toward the work. But if the members will have enough ownership, and they will have enough knowledge, and they will be really motivated about the works, and they will really believe in what we do as ISEC, they will just come and give their suggestions to EB, like, oh guys, maybe we can do it this way, maybe we can do it better. And it can be really good for the future, because like when in any organization, any company, there is a bottom-up culture, it helps a lot for development.
So in your SWOT analysis in your application, I'm just curious if you could elaborate on your opportunities. Specifically, it says new positions / opportunities in the local committee. Right? What exactly do you mean?
Okay, I mean that in my opinion, as an LC, we should have like a bit more members, because for I know the examples of the previous, like we want to do a big growth, like I don't want to say that my goal or something, that I have some goal, exact number or whatever. But for big growth, we need more people to do this, because In a lot of entities, when they had a huge growth, but they didn't have enough members to do that, they really lacked in the quality. And it can be a really big growth for one term, but it will not be something constant. Like it will drop the next year because the quality will suck. So what there should be a more position of team leaders. For sure, that we should recruit a bit more members, not like from, for example, 15 to 100, but at least to 20, 25 to make the like entity bigger. And at the same time, we should open some team leaders positions and managers positions, because I truly believe that whenever in each department we have teams who are like separate teams who are also have their team vision, team standards, team goal, and they're striving to achieve their own stuff, like own goal, it will work much better if there will be just LCVP and members. Because when it is this way, this is just like EB member just trying to do everything, and that's not the way to do that, from my opinion.
What can you bring to ISIC New York City from your experience in Azerbaijan or your experience in past ISIC?
Okay, I can bring my teamwork experience first of all, because during my LCVP term, as I told, like that year challenged me a lot, but it's also changed me a lot. I also have a lot of problems because in the beginning of my term, I had like 4 team leaders and 1 HR manager, and it was like summertime, the hardest time. And at the end of my term, summer peak term, I had only 2 team leaders and 1 manager. And I had really like motivated members who were working really hard. And the thing is that like the biggest struggle for myself back then, it was customer flow, because it's totally changed. But the thing which my team made me proud of, and I will always say that this is something that my team made, it was that we didn't drop in numbers of exchanges, and we actually did even growth in that. And I was very proud of that. And what can I definitely say? If something would happen with me during my LCVP term, I was sure that my team leaders and my team will end this term without me. Even if, I don't know, I will die, my team will do it without me, because they were really self-motivated. They had really strong teamwork in the team. The second thing that I can bring from my entity is being goal-oriented and hungry for doing something more for this world, because it's not only about the number of exchanges. It's also like for me and for my team, back then it was like always quantity and quality. We can't provide one or not to provide the second. It should be the same. And maybe it will not be like huge growth, but it will be exactly that growth that will be constant from one year to another. And the third thing, what I can bring also from my past experience, not only in ISIC but out of ISIC, is customer experience and marketing, because I was working in the huge corporate company and I was working in ISIC back then also the same.
I have something else. So, what do you think of the current member experience in ISIC New York City?
What I think about it, I think that members, like experience of members, not good, but this is how it is. It's not like something which is like I can say, oh, it's perfect, or no, it's bad. It's just something like it is. This is the realities, and this is something that goes just by the flow. But what should we do, in my opinion? Like they don't have this leadership experience, you know. Maybe they have membership experience, maybe they have like something to write in their resume that they were active in ISIC, but this is not something that they like take it from it. Like we as EB team, like I don't know, EB team like all over the world, and MC teams who are striving to provide leadership experience not only through exchange programs for our EPs, but for our members as well. So we should, at the end of the day, we should be the organization which provides the experience of the leaders of leadership to our members as well. We should make sure that, if tomorrow we will not be here on these positions, we have people who will take this ownership, who will have this ownership and take this risk, and will be the EB, who will be self-motivated, who will strive to achieve this just by their own. And what I think that the membership here is like there is no enough ownership, and not enough people are not enough committed to the LC and to entity and to balance.
What would you have to do to engage members to show up for LC meetings and work on their responsibilities?
How I
How
want
would
to
you-
engage
How
members.
would you engage members?
Okay, first of all, it's all starting with team standards.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that we really implement team standards on the way that it should be here. I can tell you about my past experience, how I did it. Weekly, not weekly, like every 2 weeks, we had team meetings with my whole department. But every week they had their team meetings with their team leaders. And each team, as a department, we had our vision, our goal, our strategies, but each team has their own goal, their own vision, their own team standards. Like one part of this, like they definitely, like, there should be meetings, like not only for LC meetings, but also department meetings. If there are teams into the departments, they should have their own meetings, not only LCVP with them, but LCVP should also give some freedom for team leaders to lead their teams. And also, there should be, like, for sure, each team should have their own team standards, team vision, team goal, and like they should like start to collaborate as a team, not like just a group of people. Okay, we should do an exchange. It's cool to make an exchange, but if you want to provide really good quality of exchanges, and if you would like to provide the really good leadership, it should start with team standards first of all. There are like 9 points of team standards that we should implement.
So in your application, you wrote for the question of how will the shift in the global measure of success impact ISIC for New York City, and what steps will need to be taken in the 2018-19 terms and to ensure successful adoption of the new measure of success. You did mention here what the importance of the completed measure of success is.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you mentioned what the steps are that we'll need to take to implement it. So if you could just elaborate on that.
Okay, how to make like completed?
Yeah.
I mean, how to achieve measure of success globally?
What the steps are that
Okay.
need to be taken in the 18-19 term to ensure the successful adoption of the measure of.
Okay. So first of all, for sure, we should start with standards. So if we want to have completed, like our measure of success is completed exchange programs, and if we want to achieve them, we should make our best to all the standards be there. But we can understand that it's not only from our side, but it's from other sides, like from home or host entity as well. So what can we do about this? We should really have strong collaboration between the entities. And if we have EP, like team leaders or members who is in charge of this EP, like incoming, outgoing, we should be always in touch with the people, EP managers from other side, and to make sure that standards that are like fulfilled from both sides, from their side and our side. And for sure, like we should make sure that EP in the end of experience will fill the form, so we will know like if we're lacking something, what can we do to make it better.
Do you want to go? So this is more of a IG EP question. So according to the current LC financial situation, how would you invest the money that we have currently to engage members and increase the number of exchanges?
In which department?
No, just in
What?
total. Using the money that we get as New York City, how
Okay.
would you use that money to increase membership and increase the number of exchanges in terms of investment?
Okay, be honest, me starting from my, like, if we will take into consideration my previous experience, we never used like some money or something to attract the members. We never even paid for any conference or wherever. I guess it's like not mostly like investing into getting attention of members. Like I can understand the realities of New York City is totally different and people should get something instead. Like I think that, for example, if they're going like how it is like now, if they're doing like some ISIC job, they're going to pick up or something, they're getting some points and like some part of their conference or their exchange programs is like covered. It's really a great idea. And this is the thing that I really love. But I guess that it's not mostly about like investing money into attracting people for the membership, but it's how you are doing this. Because at the end of the day, we are like volunteering organization, and we're like providing leadership through this, like our programs, but it's not about the money. And we can't like pay each of our members to be in ISEC. But the thing what we can do, we can provide them like really good experience as a members, and to find other ways to attract them to ISEC, to be in ISEC.
So what I got from that is that you want to make the experience so good that to make it worthwhile that you don't even have to pay for the conferences.
No, to paying for the conferences is good, and it should stay there.
Okay.
But I mean, we shouldn't invest some extra money for attracting some like their attention or something.
Okay.
And then going off of investments, where would you, so do you understand our financials right now?
Kind of, yeah.
So then where would we put, where would you like to invest money to, for like EPs, for either, for the customer flow part of it, not so much members, but customer flow. Where would you invest money? What do you do?
Okay, we can spend money for our online promo, because paid promo is really good. We experienced it back in my country, where like it was super hard to send people abroad or to attract them, because they always have some doubts. They always ask you questions, like they don't trust you. And for sure, that's totally normal. You are just some organization. Why they should trust you? You are sending them somewhere. You are taking money from them. So that's totally okay. But I think that online promo will help a lot for the growth of OGX department overall. Also, we can spend some money for the, if we will not like have extra expenses for something, we can use the money, for example, to our incoming exchange, our incoming EPs. They are not really engaged with ISEC, with what I mentioned during all this time. What can we do? We can create some trips and to cover their trips, for example, to go somewhere not far from New York City or something, for example, in some city not far from. So yeah, we can invest our money in that.
Yuman, so in your application, going off what you just said, you said we should expand the market and find new opportunities to promote our programs. Is there anything in addition to online promotions that like you were talking about in terms of expanding the market, finding new opportunities? Is there anything else, or what's the focus mostly?
Yeah, I think what also can we try to do, but it's also not on LC level, but we can also invest some money and to help MC with that. We can create automatically email response, so LCVPs will not be in charge, or TLs will not be in charge of sending each EP the email when they got registered, because it's also taking a lot of time. Instead of that, they can do like something better. So they can think like about like strategics or something instead of just writing the emails for EPs. So it's really good tool, and we can use it, and we can invest money in that as well, which is also part of marketing.
Okay, so I know that you're a little new here, so how have you worked on understanding our LC as a whole? How have you like filled the gaps? And like, how have you tried to learn what New York City is during your time here?
Okay, how I try to learn where's New York City, or
how have you tried to learn every function to prepare your application for LCP? How have you tried to understand what New York City is?
Yeah, okay, like mostly I did my research when I was talking with people. I talked with LCVPs, I talked with Eric, but I didn't do it only for New York City, because for New York City, I talked with people from New York City to get the realities. But besides of that, I have a lot of international friends. So I, for example, were in MC something, so I got their experience as well. I was asking like not about specifically New York City, but about like their experience of leading the department and the work inside of each department.
Just something I told LC message you. Or if you can see Facebook, because the LC has questions.
Okay.
So like that's why I was checking my phone to message him that. We have a question from Nick Sanso. He is, how will the Baruch, because we have two budgets, how will the Baruch budget expenses differ from the resources you expend from the MC budget?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't remember really financial part of that because I remember that we have two budgets. I remember for what we spend them, but I don't remember what's the difference of this budget.
How big of a local, can you just, I'll run me through some numbers real quick. How large of a local committee are you looking for?
How large
A
local?
local committee, yeah.
I guess at least 50 people.
50.
Yeah.
So
Including
you
EB.
want to and you're sticking with the 200 exchanges goal?
No, it's not my goal. It's my minimum.
It's a minimum.
Yeah.
So at the very least, 4-to-1 productivity is what you're saying.
What?
At the very least, 4-to-1 productivity. Because 50 members, 200 exchanges,
Okay.
4-to-1. So, I'm just making sure like that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
So right now we have, I don't know, I'm gonna go with, if we did
30.
60, yeah. Yeah, 1 to 5 maybe, would be the productivity ratio that we have right now in the local committee. What kinds of things do we need to do to go from 1.5 to 4? In that jump?
Okay, what you should do?
Yeah, like what are some strategies that you would like to implement, or like what are the systems in place that will move us the productivity ratio kind of thing?
I think again, like this is all about membership. So if the members will be engaged enough, so they will work better, and not like only members, but also like EB team. If everyone will feel the ownership, like it will have really good cultural organization. Organizational culture in Isaac, New York City. So it will help a lot to work on our to work on our programs, to promote our programs, and it will go this way. So I guess that I truly believe that productivity will go.
We have another question from Nick Senso. You said that you'd be focusing on numbers. What changes to the recruitment process would you like to make to increase the number of ISERs?
Okay, it's really good to make info sessions for people, but I believe that I know that it's going this way, like info sessions to attract the members, but it's really also very good to make like one-to-one conversations, because few days ago when we had an LCM, so there were people who were just coming for the recruitment. And what I've saw that it was really very productive to sit and to talk one-to-one, because people really engage this way. For sure, you can't sit like all the time one-to-one. You can make like some common introduction of ISAC, like to tell what is ISAC. But after that, it will be great. Like if members, LCVP like all LC will sit like at least with 1 or 2 people and talk one-to-one, just to share their own experience, to share like why they're doing this, why are this in this organization, not like with basic ISAC words, but with their own feelings and their own like understanding of ISAC.
I don't know if you talked about this, but what are the 3 main strategies that you would implement to achieve more than 200 exchanges in your term?
Okay. Yeah, I like exchanges also goes to strategies. I can show you once again. So this is membership.
Yeah.
This is marketing, and this is like not stopping doing ICX and the way that we do, but not to forget about OGX programs as well.
Are there any specific group events that you would like to incorporate into recruitment actions?
I don't really know about Baruch events, but I'm sure that there are like a lot of events happening in Baruch. So if I will get elected, for sure I will spend more time to know which kind of events happening here. And I'm also planning to apply for my master's program. So for sure, whenever I'll do it, it will help me a lot. And yeah, I'm pretty communicative person, so I believe that it will not create a problem for me to make ISAC visible on the most of events which happens in Peru.
And then are you like pro? Do you know what rolling recruitment is? Rolling recruitment?
No.
So it's like you recruit. It's not like in bulk. Like we spent 3 weeks in doing recruitment,
Okay.
and that's it. It's like we do that, but like as time
Oh, you
goes
mean the
on,
flow?
you recruit
Okay.
Based on like your needs and need more people. Are you like pro that or just
Yeah.
like rolling recruitment? So makes sense. It's very active right now. But with rolling recruitment, the people that do get recruited post like the front end of it, they don't have access to rocks, and they also don't start off with the same like big training stuff that we have in the beginning. So what kinds of strategies, or like what are your thoughts on like how we tackle that, seeing as they don't go to rocks and it would be like delayed learning, the whole education cycle would be delayed.
Okay.
So how do you speed that up? How do you tackle that issue?
Okay, well, the same problems was in my entity. So what we did, we just replaced recruitment a bit, like we made it a bit earlier. So you will have enough time for education of numbers and to making all.
So move recruitment earlier?
Like a bit, not like a lot, but a bit.
We start recruitment pretty much the day school starts on campus kind of thing. Then Rock is typically 4 weeks after that. So we do rolling to move it before school starts.
Okay.
So just to like confirm, are you saying move recruitment before school starts?
Yeah, so that's okay. We were making it in August. You can start with promoting recruitment online, and for example, for 1 week or 1 week and a half, and then you can start on campus promotion as well. And besides of that, we can do, for example, our info sessions not only like about ISAC, not only in Baruch, but we can like promote it online and to create an event, for example, in some coffee shop or somewhere, and say like whenever you want to get some information, like this is how like we have a vacation, you're free, you can come here and you can ask us, you can get a lot of information, or this is our contacts, you can contact us. There are a lot of ways to promote it online as well.
Okay. How would you work on expansion for the LC? Sort of like right now, we really focus on Baruch. How do you plan to expand sort of our reach to maybe other campuses, other colleges around the city?
Yeah, as I know that right now we're doing our LC only in Baruch, so but we're part of CUNY, so maybe we can communicate about it. And I know that Columbia also here, so maybe we can collaborate about it. I'm not sure if we can do it, but maybe we can like collaborate with other universities and to put just our LC level not on the ISAC New York City like Baruch level, but just the country, the city level, not just university based.
Could you give us a brief description of the main problems for each function?
Main problems?
Yeah.
Okay, from IGV side, I believe that the main problem may be that this is just from my point of view, not that something happens right here. From my point of view, we're focusing only on one SDG, which is like quality education, but we can also take like global data of YouSpeak, and we will see other problems that we have and how we can also to create some projects based on that SDGs. Problem of both ICX programs is engagement of EPs, because EPs coming in New York, and for sure they don't want to be part of ICX. They want to chill, they want to have fun, they go to work and then they chill. They don't want to be part of ICX. But what should we do? We should really engage them, not like you should be with us 24/7, like, but there are some, I don't know, some events, some meetings where EPs should definitely come. Problem of IGT, I think that it's maybe problem of IGT is, let me think. I guess in IGT we have pretty huge market to make it, because there are a lot of like startups for GE programs, there are a lot of companies for GD programs, and actually, for example, if we're bringing interns, the salary that they give to interns, it's not like so high for New York City, but it's pretty high for example, European or Latin American or Asian countries. So it can attract a lot of people, but I guess we don't use all our resources for that. For OGV programs is again like lack of knowledge of the product, and we don't know how to sell the product, how we can make, like, this is a problem of OGT and OGV, how we can make people living in New York, like New Yorkers, to go abroad and, for example, for volunteering, because it's really hard. Like, okay, you should pay us 500, pay your ticket and go abroad just to volunteering. But the thing is that we should know the ways how we can sell it. And with OGT programs, the main thing is that people, again, like New Yorkers, when they want to go actually abroad, they don't understand our product. They don't understand that we're providing internships in other countries for them. But the thing is that they should be focused on the program that they're going, but not the country. But for example, it happens sometimes that they're just coming like, oh, I want to go to Italy, and that's it. I don't want to go anywhere else. But it's, again, comes to communication and to soft skills, how exactly you can make our EPs to understand that this is not about the country, but this is about your experience. You can have a great experience. For example, some people think that Egypt is danger or India is not safe. But this is about how you will explain to people that actually, like, all the world is not safe. It's all about you, and it's all about the experience that you get and your mindset, how you get it.
So I have some of things. So expansions, as Will brought up before, just to clarify, you mentioned like CUNY and Columbia and all that stuff. Are you looking more for like a physical presence in those CUNYs, or digital expansion, or like how are you like tackling the expansion?
The expansion, I don't really think that we should have like expansions of LCs. We should like expand our LCs.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It would be like ISEC for New York City. Are you looking more for like, we want a digital presence in those places and that's how we'll expand our reach? Yeah. Or are you looking for more like, we're gonna have a physical presence there, which is like membership, which is
membership as well.
Like that.
So you're saying that you want, say members in Columbia, but you want them all to be for New York City?
Yes.
Okay, but
because look, right now we're based only on our LC, right? Like our LC based only in this university. But you can have like LC like members in Columbia, in other like CUNY branch. So it doesn't make sense to have like LC only for one university. This is what we did in our country. We had like 16 universities in one LC. That's not about like having this. For example, you can have office not here, but you have some office in the, there are a lot of, I believe, places like rooms which government gives for startups or for organizations for free because they're doing social impact. So we can get like, for example, the room there for office and all the members can be there.
Would that be one of your strategies moving forward for IGET, just partnering with one of the technology colleges, for example, and having them host interns, having them post people so we could expand IGET that way.
And IGT as well, but also membership as well.
Mhm.
Membership should also be expanded as a university.
How would we engage with members since they're so far away from our home campus?
What do you mean?
Like
It doesn't mean that you should be in one university to contact with the people.
Mhm.
Like 21st century, you have internet, and besides of that, like New York City, yeah, it's huge, but you can have like one place for the meetings, for example, for LCMs,
Mhm.
and students from this university, they will come to that place. That's it. And the same for departments meetings and so.
So follow up. Okay, cool. So IGB has two focuses right now. The first is on sales, the second is on global hosts. Global host is our it's the host, it's the part that
Yeah, I know.
yeah, the whole hosting thing. Like, how do you, and that has been a major issue for IGB, which is getting the host. How are you gonna like take that forward? Like, what are your strategies to actually grow the program, get a large pool of like host families or host organizations? Like, how are we gonna host it?
We can use our OGB or OGT interns who went to internship in other countries. So they lived already this experience, and somebody hosted them in their countries. So I'm pretty sure these people will be totally okay to, I mean, not like 100%, but some of these people will be totally okay to accept people to host people in their places as well.
In addition to it, OG, LGX, right? So a lot of the strategies were about like, branding or getting the word out, building our market and everything. It's like a lot of like lead generation, all that stuff. However, another issue that we have is conversion rates. In OGB, we have acceptance that don't become proofs, and for OGT, we have applicants that never become accepted. What are your strategies to tackle those specific issues for OGX? Because you can't have completed until they go through.
Yeah.
And that's the bottleneck that we see right now.
Okay, so it depends what exactly is bottleneck there. Is it about the EPs who doesn't want to apply or to go to the internships, or about the country that responding really late?
I've asked both for OGB and OGT.
Oh, okay. Okay, so OGB is the problem is that they're getting accepted to these projects, but they're like, oh no, I don't want to pay this $500. Oh no, my parents won't let me. Hi. So my parents won't. So they get accepted this project, but then somewhere along the way they.
I got it. Like that's a problem not only in New York City, but I believe that all over the world. But first of all, I guess this should be like a bit clear communication between EP managers and these people. And also what also matters, physical meetings, because whenever you chat with person like, okay, I'll send you to internship. Oh, that's cool. This person will don't get you really like personal, But whenever you invite him like, okay, you are my exchange participant and we want to work together, can we please meet in this place and we can search together for a project? This person will feel like more ownership that, okay, like this person tried for me so hard. And besides of that, also it should be very clear from the very beginning that, okay, you should pay 500, your parents should let you go, and all these parts. So just to make sure like clear communication and like physical meetings.
Can you go back to the slides?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
like, I don't have this in front of me. So like your strategies, nice. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to remember that.
Okay, so Emery has a question. So, what has your experience as VP OGB taught you, and how will you apply what you've learned to being LCP of New York City?
Again.
How is what you've learned as VP OGB in Azerbaijan?
Okay. Okay, I got it. The biggest thing that I learned, and I guess this is the main thing that I learned, it was working with a team and working as a team. I was working really hard first part of my term to build my team and to make them be more like self-motivated, self-driven, to understand their own values, their own why, to be more self-aware, and to feel this connection towards the not only organization but also like the department, and to get it more personal. And it took a lot of time, and it wasn't the easiest thing that I did because there was like just terrible moments during my term. But it made me to see my department in the end of my term, exactly the department that I want to see. And I am pretty sure that my department and my members, they were working like as a team much more than parts of other departments. It's not like it's like bad, good, like they were just different because they understood clearly what we are doing, and we were spending a lot of time not just on working with EPs, but also on working on ourselves as a leaders and to develop leadership in us.
Okay. Who did you talk to when applying for LCP?
With who I talked before applying to LCP?
When preparing for this.
Okay.
Did you talk to anyone?
Okay, yeah. I talked with you. I talked with Will. I talked with Emery. I talked with Fernando. I talked with John. And I was talking about some MC, VPs, and LCPs from other countries.
Did you read Michael's application?
Not fully, but the points that I wanted just to know.
If you could get rid of one thing in your platform, what would it be?
What?
If there was one part of your platform that you would get rid of, what would it be?
On XP, you mean?
No.
I didn't.
Your
Okay.
LCP. Your LCP platform.
Okay, what if I will read one?
If you get rid of one, we'll understand.
Maybe not being like, it's not like okay, I'll just tell it a different way. I just want else like EB and sort of like LC totally be organized, because it's not organized and I just want to get rid of this. It's not organized as well, like it's a bit messy and it shouldn't be this way.
Elaborate on what you mean by messy.
Messy, for example, I'm that kind of person who I want to have everything, like I'm really crazy about deadlines. I don't like to do anything like at the last moment, because I want to do it beforehand and to make sure that we still have time to fix it if there will be some problem. So I want to know that, for example, like if we tomorrow having something, we're having it this time, this place, and this is organized. And if we're going there, like I will make sure that all, for example, EB is there, because it's very important. EB is the drivers of LC, and this is very important to have them also as a face of the team.
What is what do you need from me what do you need from me and my team to do in order to set you up for like the best possible term?
Be very honest with the problems, issues that you had. Be very self-aware, because like, for example, if you had something which was your weakness during your term, not to hide it, but just to be really very direct and to say the way it is. to be very direct with realities, because like I really believe that knowledge are very important, but the best thing that the main thing that's important is the passion and the ownership towards the organization that you have. So for sure, as I'm new in ISEC New York City, and I mean I'm generally new in New York City, it will take some time for me to adapt, and I will need your and EBT's help, like to get adapted to all the realities and to know like all bottlenecks and to just to provide the right transition and organized transition
So then
from time management.
on the on the honesty part of it then, since you wanted to know
Yeah.
like the issues that we have. The first is do you happen and like do you happen to know what your never mind, doesn't matter what your focus is. Well, my focus is as LCP right now is IGT.
Okay.
Right now IGT is still very it's slow. We don't have as many members in it right now, at least as many training members. So what are your plans in order to grow IGT as a function? If
Okay.
that is your
First of all, IGT is one of the hardest functions ever, because there are a lot of aspects you should be focused on. You should be focused on the companies and corporations, not on the national level, but on local level. We should have really good partners. For that, we should have like really intelligent like MCVP and TLs and members inside of the department who will know how to make these sales meetings and know how to provide like exactly to deliver our values to the company and to make it connected with ISEC and to EBIS as well. Also, for sure in IGT, there should be more than 2 members for sure. IGT should be bigger, because if we want to make like bigger number of exchanges, we should have more resources to make it happen. Like based on how many companies we have, for example, we can recruit or to do something like more members for that. Sure, the knowledge part of IGT products should be very strong, because you should know how to present it like ISEC in front of the company, and you should know how to make exactly the right people for the right positions in that companies.
so then good points. But right now our largest issue is sales culture. That's across the board in ISEC New York City, where it's like in OGX you try to do sales, it's like getting people to be comfortable doing sales, whether it's the OGX side or
Okay.
ICX side, it's difficult, and like we haven't
Yeah.
really fixed the issue. So what are your like thoughts on building a very strong sales culture inside of the sales committee?
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is that, which I had the experience that I had, and I really want to implement in ISEC New York City. I had it in ISEC Azerbaijan, and we had it also in my company as well. Because when you are focusing, for example, on the sales, you should know how to do it. But for sure, if we're just student and we never had like corporate job and we never worked in sales and we don't know how to collaborate and to build this communication, to make people trust what you say and to deliver your values and the values of our organization in the right way, it will never work. For that, what can we do? We can, from the emotional part of delivering our values, it's totally our business, and we can use good case practices, not only from ISEC US, but all over the world. Like we can, if we have like really strong communication and connection with the people, for example, who in Latin America, I know that they are doing really good like program exchange programs. And India, they are doing great, like huge entities. You can connect with them and ask them to do, for example, Skype meeting, like sales meeting to people. It can be live stream. It can be something, I don't know, just hangout, something that whenever they will explain, and it will be good case practice based from ISEC. But also we can have really good trainers, external trainers who have like huge years experience in this sphere and who can just show us the way how to sell the product, not exactly product, but how we should sell the product. And actually this is one of the things where we can invest the money and budget.
We have another question from the first next sentence. Do you prefer VPs who do a little less work but don't encroach on the job descriptions of other VPs? or one that does a little more work but doesn't see his or her job description as binding?
It's too complicated for me to get into.
Okay. Do you prefer VPs who
Okay,
let's
let
say
me
I've
see if I understand it.
Okay.
So if I prefer to have the VP who is doing less than others but doing the job description, or the one who is doing more than his or her job description? Is it that the question?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's like, yeah.
Okay, like be honest. What I always told to my members, team leaders, and etc. Like, job description is something that we should do, but this is not our limit. It doesn't mean that, okay, I did this work, okay, so that's it. We are in ISEC to make the world better for everyone. And to make world better for everyone doesn't stop with only your job description. I was team leader in OGCDP, and I shouldn't do anything for IGCDP, but I knew that they need my help, and I was there for them. That's it. Like, that's something that you do for the people. That's something that you do for the world. That's not about your job description. And what I prefer, for sure, I prefer to have a people who will feel this ownership to do as much as they can and to do their best just for this organization and for our beliefs and for the better world.
Would you rather have a VP that does 25 exchange by himself or herself, or have a VP that his team does 25 exchange?
I think the answer is obvious. Like, for me, it matters much more if team doing 25 exchanges, because team is the face of VP. Team is something that VP makes. Team will not make it by themselves. This is if the VP is the right VP, is the VP is the right leader, he will encourage, he or she, they will encourage, they will work on their members, they will work on their experience, and they will make them to want even more than 25 exchanges. But if the VP is not like leader, VP is the leadership board, like, this is the part of the team which lead the board. So they should lead the team that way, that they will do everything, like, they will feel this ownership and they will do it even more. Because LCVP, he or she, they did it already, all those exchanges when they were team members. Why they should continue doing the same thing being as LCVP? It doesn't make sense. They're LCVPs to provide their leadership experience and to share their experience with the members, to raise like new members, to raise new leaders for the future of the organization.
So what are, and this is the last question,
Okay.
What are the expectations that you have for your members, and what are the expectations that like members can have for you, or like hold you accountable?
Okay. My expectations from members, just to believe in the organization and just to believe in whatever we do. If people believe in ISEC, and if people believe in whatever we do, if they believe in that every life matter, if they believe that like every exchange matters, so it will change the world. It will really world, like, because like we are change, and change starts with us. If we want to change the world, we should start with us. And the only thing that I need from the members is their ownership and their belief in this organization. And what can they expect from me? They can expect from me like my fully support, my motivation, my always readiness to share my experience, always readiness to talk with any problems and issues that they have, to provide the right experience for the team. Because like, first of all, like the main, how it works in my mind for the LCP and for team. Like, LCP, first of all, should encourage and work on building his own EB team. And EB team, then if this EB will be enough intelligent, and they will be like, they will understand why they're doing this, and they will have their own team standard, they will definitely implement it in their teams as well. But it doesn't mean that LCP should be like far from LC. The thing is that like my members can expect from me like my full energy, my optimism in any situations, me being extrovert, so I can talk with them whenever they want, and to try not to show them solution of the problem, but to show them the ways how they can find the solution.
LCP.
Should I go out?
Yeah.
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
And I can give you a choice of who's gonna be able to do.
That's Michael.
No, we did.
No, but the questions weren't as well.
That's what someone was asking the same question like 10 times.
No, but like we didn't have good questions. That's cool. Michael, we didn't even ask.
Just still.
Yeah, it's over. Right on.
How y'all doing? Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Enjoy your vacation. Thank you.